Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome back to Developer Maroof. In today's lesson, we'll learn about JSON and working with structured data. So JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation, and it's the standard format for exchanging data on the web. We'll learn how to convert JavaScript objects to JSON strings, parse JSON back to objects, and work with structured data from APIs and storage. So JSON is everywhere in web development. APIs use it, databases use it, and we use it to store data. Mastering JSON is essential. So let's start our coding. Already created our HTML file. Let's dive into our JavaScript. So let's start by understanding what JSON is. JSON looks like JavaScript objects, but it's actually a string format. JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation, remember that. It is nothing but a text format for storing and exchanging data. Let me show you practically so you can understand much better. So JSON, let's say const JSON string. So inside our string, we can have our object name. Let's say name is Maroof. So this is a JSON string. This is how JSON looks like. You can say it's an object inside a string, which is called JSON. Age 22, city Hyderabad, and our semicolon. So this is what JSON is. This is a JSON string. This is nothing but a text format, how we write JSON strings. Let me show you inside a log. Let's say JSON string. You can see this is a JSON string. It's not an object. It is inside a string. That's why we are getting it like this. We will see the methods how we can turn these JSON string into an object or an object into a JSON string. So for now, just remember this is what JSON string is. Let me show you the type of JSON string. It is a string. It is not an object. I think you have the basic understanding of JSON. We can convert any arrays into our JSON string or any objects into our JSON with the .stringify method inside our JSON. Let me show you that. So let's start with JSON.stringify method. So what JSON.stringify will do, it will convert JavaScript objects and arrays into JSON string. So first let's convert our object into a JSON string. So let me create an object first. Let's say const person equals to object. Inside that we can have our values. Okay, let's say Maroof, age and city. So this is an object. Let's convert this object into our JSON string. Let's say const our JSON string 2 equals to JSON.stringify. Inside that we have our object because we want to stringify that object. Let's log this first. Let's log our original object person, our JSON string, and let's log our type of JSON string. And let's comment this out. Let's see, it's a JSON string. Okay, save it. Okay, you can see we have our object, which is our person as it is, our original object, and this is our JSON string. You can see this JSON.stringify converted our object into a JSON string that can be stored or sent over the network, and its type is string. But before that, it was an object. Let me show you that as well. Let's say log type of person, and you can see it is an object, but after we convert it to JSON string, it gives us string. So now let's convert our array into our JSON string. Let me show you that as well. Let's say arrays to JSON, and this was object to JSON. Let's create our arrays first. Fruits equals to apple, banana, cherry, and our JSON, let's say fruits, and let's convert JSON.stringify and our fruits array. Now let's log this. First log our original array, then log our type of and our JSON fruits and type of JSON fruit. You can see we have our original array as it is, and we have type of this original array is an object because when we get the type of any array, it always be an object, and when we convert this array into a JSON string with the JSON.stringify method, it is converted to a string now, and its type is string. So this is how you can convert any array into a JSON. Let's comment this out. If you want, you can also stringify any nested objects or nested arrays. Let me show you that as well. Stringify with nested objects. Firstly, create our student object equals to this. Let's put name, age, skills, etc. Okay, we have skills array and our nested address object. So let me stringify that object. Let's say const JSON student equals to JSON.stringify method. Inside that, put our object, and let's log first our nested object, and then our JSON string. Save this. You can see we have our nested object first as it is, and when we convert it, it is converted to a JSON string. You can see JSON can handle nested structures as well. If we want to format this JSON to make it readable, right now it's not formatted at all. It's very hard to read. If you want to format it, let me show you how you can do that. Let's add a comment, stringify with formatting, 3D print. So let's create our formatted JSON variable. So JSON equals to JSON.stringify. Inside this object, we have three parameters. First is our object, comma. Second argument is a replacer function, which we'll skip with null. And the third argument is indentation, spaces. We make it 2. Now let's log this. Formatted JSON, save it. Now you can see our JSON is formatted, JSON formatted properly. This makes the JSON easier to read. If you want to exclude any properties, you can use replacer function to exclude any property. Let me show you. Let's say stringify with replacer function. First, let's comment this out. And let me create another object. Let's say console user equals to name. Let's say name is Sarah. Our age is 25. Password, it's secret 93. Our email, sarah@simple.com. Save this. So this is our object. If we want to exclude our password inside our JSON, we can do that by, let's add a comment first, exclude password from JSON. Let's create a safe JSON variable. Inside that, we can say JSON.stringify to convert our object into string, let's say user, and our second parameter, which is replacer function. Let's create our arrow function. Let's say, okay, and inside these parameters, we have key and value. Keys are these properties, or we can say keys, and these are the values. Inside these curly braces or function, we can put condition if our key equals to password, because this is a key is equals to password, then return undefined. What it will do is it will exclude our password, and if it not equals to password, for the other keys or properties, we have return our value. If we log this, save JSON, user and JSON, you can see we have name Sarah, age 25, and our email. We can't see password here because we have excluded our password right here. So this is how, with this replacer function, you can exclude any password or any property. That's it for JSON.stringify. Now let me show you another method, which is JSON.parse method. So JSON.parse converts JSON string back into JavaScript object or arrays, like JSON.stringify converts any object or any array into our JSON string, but JSON.parse is opposite of it. It will convert our JSON string into any object or any array. Let me show you that as well. So first, let's create our JSON data first. Let's say JSON data equals to our name, age, and city. Save this. Now let's create parsed object, because it is an object. Let's say equals to JSON.parse, which JSON string we want to parse. We want to parse this JSON data, and let's log this parsed object, and let's say type of this, and our JSON data and type of it. Let's save this. You can see now it is a real object we can use, and type of parsed object is object now. Before it was a string, JSON string, and its type was string. We have converted with the JSON.parse to an object. So this is how you can convert any object, convert any JSON string into an object. Let me show you the conversion of arrays. Let's say const JSON array equals to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let's say parsed array equals to JSON.parse. Inside that, JSON array. Now it is parsed. Let's log this and log our JSON array. Save this. Now you can see we have our parsed array and our JSON array as a JSON string. So this is how you can convert JSON string to an object or any array. You can also convert any nested JSON string into its proper form. You can try it on your own. I think you have understood the concept of JSON parse and JSON.stringify. And sometimes JSON might be invalid. We need to handle errors when parsing. Let me show you that as well. Let's add a comment handling invalid JSON. So first let's try to parse our invalid JSON. Let's add a comment. Try to parse invalid JSON. Let's say try. Let's add our try catch block. Inside that we can have const invalid JSON. Let's create invalid JSON first. Let's add a name. Okay, name is Maruf, and let's add comma. So this is invalid JSON form which has a trailing comma. It makes it invalid. So let's try to parse it. Let's say JSON.parse our invalid JSON, and inside our catch we can log our error. Let's say error.message. Save this. You can see we are having an error, expected double quotes property name in JSON at position 18. If we remove this comma, now our JSON is valid and we can't see any error. We can log this to see our value. Let's store it first. You can see we are having our parsed JSON. If we add comma, we will get error because this trailing comma make our invalid JSON. Let me show you our valid JSON example. Valid JSON sample. Let's add our try catch block. Try. We have const valid JSON equals to, let's say, name Maruf, and log our, okay, before log we can have a result equals to JSON dot parse. Let's parse this valid JSON and get our results and log our error if have any. Save this and let's comment this out. Save it. You can see we are having our parsed JSON. So this is how you can handle our invalid JSONs. So we should always use try catch blocks when parsing JSON from external source. We will cover this try catch block in our coming lessons, but this was an overview of this JSON, how to handle invalid JSONs. Now let's see how JSON is used in real scenarios like API responses. Let me add a logs first, working with JSON data. So let's simulate API response. Let's create first comment simulating API response. Let's create a variable API response equals to an object. Inside that object we have our status. Let's say success. Okay, now our data, which is inside object, we have free data. Let's say we have ID of a user 1. We have its name, let's say Maruf. We have its email, and the email of it is at example.com. And our second, okay, we made a mistake. We should make it an array, not an object. Okay, inside that we have Sarah. We have these 10 users, and let's add another, or total we have 10. Save this. Now let's convert it to JSON to send our data. Let's first say const JSON response equals to JSON.stringify our API response object. So now it is converted to our JSON string. Let's log this. Okay, you can see we have converted this, our API response object, into a JSON string. So this is how we can convert our data and send to our server. And we can also parse the JSON string we received like this. Let's say received data equals to JSON.parse, and let's add our JSON response which we created, converted. Let's add a log received data and save this. Okay, now you can see we have converted our JSON string again to our object. We have parsed this JSON string, and if you want to get any user, let's say I want to get our first user, we can do that by typing received data dot users, not users because we haven't added any other property, so we can do it like array and 0. Save this. You can see we have our first user. If we want to get its name, we can do that by dot name. Save this. You can see we have Maruf, which is this one. So this is how we will handle our APIs when sending data. We will convert our API response to JSON string, then send it. When we will get any response, we will make it to our object or our array by this parse. parse. So that's it for today's lesson. You just learned about JSON and working with structured data in JavaScript. JSON.stringify converts JavaScript objects to JSON string for storage and transmissions. JSON.parse converts JSON string back to JavaScript objects for using in code. JSON is the standard format for data exchange on the web, used by APIs, databases, and storage systems. Always use try catch, which we have used here when parsing JSON from external source to handle errors gracefully. In the next lesson, we'll learn about error handling with try catch, and finally block. I'll show you that try catch in our next lesson. This will help us write more robust code. If this helped you, like the video, subscribe, and share it with someone learning JavaScript. Jazakallahu khair for watching. Allah Hafiz.